Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the channel, to the podcast, whether you are listening on Spotify or watching me on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today because when I got the mic, I mean business. So let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about inner child. Okay, I feel like that is a term you hear so often when it comes to your healing journey, this and that. But what does that actually mean and what actually is inner child healing? I always thought about that when I heard that term being thrown around, like, bro, what even is that? And I'm not a professional, but I am a young woman with her own experiences here to tell you about what I think the definition of that is and what I've learned. A couple weeks ago, I came to this realization that I feel like a lot of young adults might have. And American culture is so workplace based. Like you always need to be working towards something. You finish, high school, which is the only required education, but they expect you to go to college. And then after you go to college, they expect you to go to more school. And then you have to work really hard to get a really nice job. And then when you're at that really nice job, you have to work hard. You're supposed to be working hard to get up in the company. And then when you get up, you make more money, then you're supposed to have kids, then you're supposed to learn how to make more money for the it's always like purpose based. Like you have to have a purpose. You have to be doing something or you're lazy or you don't matter that much. That's kind of what I've gained growing up in America. And as much as I want to say F this country and all the standards they have for people, especially me as a woman, as a black woman, I can't help but that sometimes all these pressures and expectations do affect how I live my life and how I view my self worth. I was feeling really down a couple weeks ago, like I said, and I was feeling like I feel like not useful because I'm looking so hard for the next job and then I'm going so hard after the career I want on social media. And, so it's always like I'm going towards something. And it's like at the end of the day, when I've already applied, done my job search for the day, when I've already edited, did all I could, uploaded all I could, thought of all the ideas I could, and then I have no other tasks to complete because I don't really have a friend group. I don't have a relationship, someone to talk to 24/7. Um, at the end of the day, when I just have to sit with myself and there's no task, I'm kind of just like, well, I feel like I should be doing something or what am I doing? Like I didn't do enough. And it really started to affect me. And although, YouTube and social media is something I really enjoy doing, which is like kind of a career, working towards in a career, but also slash one of my hobbies, when I don't have that to do, when I don't have another responsibility and I'm just here with myself, I feel terrible. I feel like I just felt really down. Even though it's not like I'm not doing anything, just because I'm not doing something that makes me a ton of money or advances what is going on in my physical reality, for that reason, because I can't see the effects in my physical reality just yet, it makes me feel like, well, that's not enough. And when I came to this conclusion, I was like, why do I feel like this when I have nothing to do? Which is like free time to try something else, to just exist. Like literally, I'm learning more and more the more I, listen to podcasts, watch other people's YouTube channels on their journey, that like America and like the corporate world makes you think it's like task after task. You always have to be working towards something. You always, or like you're unimportant. I was like, whoa, I didn't realize that I actually relate to it. I would start crying, just feeling like I'm not good enough, feeling like I need to do more, even though I've done all I could. And it's like all there's left to do now is literally exist. Like, I realized that that is not a healthy relationship to have with myself, that I only feel worthy if I'm completing a task or if I have a responsibility. Like, I'm human. I'm literally human. I'm always in my videos telling people I love. I'm so proud of you for existing because it's just so hard. Like, I'm not proud of my friends well, I am proud, but it's like I don't love my friends because like they're college graduates or they have this great job. Like I love my friends and family just because they're them and they're doing their best, and I accept them as they are, and I love them for that. So it's like, why can I not do the same for myself? Why do I feel like I have to be doing something? Why do I feel like I have to stay busy or stay working towards something to be worthy of like, okay, like I'm proud of myself or I can sit down, I can relax now. Like that's not how I love other people, so that's how I should start loving myself. And when I had one of these moments, I literally burst out into tears. We're bringing it back full circle to the title of this video because I thought about inner child, like the girl I was when I was a child, a couple years ago, a year ago, and I was just like, would my inner child judge me right now? Like the way I'm like, you're not doing enough, or you need to find something else to do, or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, would she tell me that? Would she hate on me like that? Like I'm hating on myself right now. Like I can literally imagine the other versions of myself being like, oh my God, like you started a YouTube channel? Like we've been wanting to do that for so long. Like that's so cool. We literally used to make little home videos when we were younger. And oh my God, you're learning about all of the process. You're learning about all the monetization. You're learning. Like that is so cool. Like keep going. That is literally what this other side of me would say. And when I thought about that, how I'm like, my inner child would not be hating on me, how I'm hating on myself right now, it literally brought me to tears. Because I was just like, wow. Like, I remember other versions of myself that didn't base my worth or self love on the amount of work I put in or what I'm working towards. They would just love me for who I am, and that's not what I'm doing right now. I was like, well, not right now, but in those moments when I get down, I was like, wow, this one got a little spice to it. So I know I might be a little all over the place in this video because again, I'm speaking from my heart. But if you ever find yourself in those moments, I hope that you can have that point of view that like your inner child needs you and needs you to be soft and encouraging, not hating on yourself because that doesn't help you or them. Like the inner child version of yourself is so proud of what you've become. Like literally how I said we say inner child, but it's really like any past version of yourself. Cuz I even think about myself a year ago. A year ago, about a year ago is when I decided that I wanted to take social media serious. A year ago is when I left my abusive relationship. And I remember I wanted to try YouTube for the longest time. It's like you don't think that version of yourself that was scared to do certain things, that was holding back stuff that they wanted to do because they were scared in an abusive relationship, you don't think that that person is proud of who I am now? Like I'm really doing it, and it doesn't matter if it's not showing in my physical reality. I've done so much work mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and like the more you get on your healing journey, you realize that is like where the importance is, because that is where all the stuff for your physical reality is manifesting, okay? Because nothing happens in the physical realm unless you're doing the work behind the scenes, and it may take long. That's why you got to be patient, telling myself that too. But yeah, like I love those moments in life where over and over again you just remember who the fuck you are. Like I remember I was telling my best friend about this feeling. I was just like, yeah, I just feel so unworthy sometimes. Like I haven't done enough, like I'm not worthy because I need to do more. Um and I remember I think I touched on this in an episode or a video before, but I've never dated a man with a job. It's it relates to what I'm about to say, so bear with me. I've never dated a man with a job, okay? I have 3 exes. One was in high school, the other 2 were out of high school. For context, I'm 21. And like I remember my best friend told me how I'm feeling unworthy and stuff, like just about a lot of stuff, like You know those moments when you feel unworthy, sometimes it can just crumble down to all of it, like unworthy of career, unworthy of love, like when you spiral, it can just all come together. And she was like, girl, like, you know, you're trying your best, not like you're sitting around doing nothing, like you're searching every day, you're creating every day, you're working towards something every day. And she's like, and when it comes to love and stuff, she's like, did you ever judge your exes for not having a job when you were with them? Like, whether you, like, if you were working and they weren't, did you ever hold it against them? Think you were better than them? Think they were less than you? Like, did you ever judge someone like that? And I was like, no. I was like, I laugh about it now that I'm out of those relationships, but I'm like, in those relationships, no, I really did not judge them for it or think of them any different. And she was like, okay, girl, well, exactly. So what makes you think that you're less worthy because you're in a certain space, this certain temporary space, like you're worthy in all spaces? And I'm like, you're so right. Thank you. Like, self love, I feel like is really so much more complicated than people try to market it as. It is really getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. So remember that, guys. Like, when you're being mean to yourself, remember, like, have y'all seen that trend on TikTok when they're like, who he thinks he's making happy versus who he's really making happy? When it's like people in relationships, they show them, but then they show a picture of their inner child because, like, someone brings out their inner child. So it's like, remember that when it comes to yourself, like, you're really talking to that version of yourself too when you're hating on yourself, when you are judging yourself, when you're doing all of this, like, but what would that version say to you? You know? And I feel like sometimes if you can't even like imagine what your inner child would say, you should just ask a kid what they think about your life. Like, I feel like kids really show your inner child. Like, I literally have a younger cousin. She's like 10 years younger than me. Like, she thinks it's so cool that I have a TikTok and that I have a following on TikTok, even though I don't think my following is that huge. She thinks it's the coolest thing ever. She thinks I'm like famous. When she heard I was doing YouTube videos, she thinks that's so cool, so amazing. Um, I think I've touched on this channel before how I've done like background acting. When I've told her about that again, she's like, "Oh my god, my cousin's famous." Even though I'm like, "Girl, like it's like yeah, I'm proud that I've had my opportunities and I've like dipped my foot in there, but I'm like it's not what you think." But to a kid, it's everything because like kids kids is like the version of you before you have doubt, before you have insecurities, before you have all that. So they just think every win is a win, which it is, which is why we need to listen to them a little bit more. Okay? That's one thing I hate. I feel like a lot of times adults treat kids like they're not people too. They're still people, they're just little people. Okay? So, yeah, guys, I don't know. Just remember that self love is not tied to your productivity, your responsibility. Like, I feel like people always forget that we can just exist. Like, literally yesterday, I feel like honestly, I have a little bit of social anxiety because when I was talking about this with my best friend, she was saying, like, well, why don't you like get out more and like just like do stuff by yourself? And I was like, well, honestly, I don't really do stuff by myself that doesn't have a purpose. Like, I'll go to the store if I need something by myself, go to an appointment by myself, like something that has a purpose. I was like, I don't really see the point in just going somewhere by myself with no purpose. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just social anxiety in me. And she's like, well, I think you should try it. Like, maybe you're like alone a lot of times, but maybe you need to be alone in different spaces to like, you know, discover different things. And yesterday I took that into consideration. I just like parked at this park and I just like walked and I had no destination. Like I just walked for as long as I wanted in the sun. And in this area that was kind of away from the streets, so I could literally hear the birds chirping and stuff. And I was like, wow, Like, this is what we're supposed to do. We're just supposed to exist. Like, I don't have to have a task or, like, you know? It was so strange. And I'm definitely going to do that more this summer. But yeah, guys, keep going, keep doing your thing. Your hard work is paying off, no matter if it's you're seeing it in the physical realm or if it's manifesting in the spiritual realm, okay? It's working. So keep going. Um, and if you feel the need to do more, upgrade this, just make sure you're doing it because you want to, not because it's what society is saying you have to do to be worthy. Speaking to myself too, okay? But thank you guys once again for listening to me yap and speak from the heart. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts, all that. So let's talk in the comments below. I have a playlist called Yap Sessions with lots of similar videos if you enjoyed this content. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Alicia Milan if you want to hear a little more about me and my story. Keep up with me on a daily. And yeah, thank you guys for making it to the end of this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!